Okay, so stress management at work. So firstly, it should be said that stress is an inevitable part of life. There is always going to be things that we can't control. There are always going to be pressures placed on us. Life just throws things at you at random times that we can't predict in advance, which is difficult. So the question then is, how do we handle all of that? What can we do so that when life throws stuff at you, it's not a problem, it doesn't overwhelm you, and you can actually manage that and get on with it and actually be okay with that. So my first tip when it comes to that is to not push yourself too close to the limit. I know this is a tendency that I do very often. I'm quite ambitious and I think, yeah, I can do a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. But if I am very, very close to my limit, and then something unexpected happens, all of a sudden I've got no resources spare to handle the thing that I didn't expect to happen. So pushing ourselves really close to the limit has the downside of not being able to handle last minute changes very well, because I just don't have any spare resources to do that. I'm using all of my resources just to get by. So how do I increase my resources on a daily basis? Maybe you're thinking, you're right, it does take all of my resources just to get by at the office, for example. So a tip there is to learn to say no thank you when people ask you for things. And I'm not just talking about the explicit asking either, like, can you do this job? Can you do this? Would you like to come out to the pub with us after work? I'm thinking of the really, really small implicit things, like the person that comes up and talks to you and is being friendly with you and wants you to talk and have small talk, and you just want to go back to your work and not have this person talk to you anymore. How do you say no thank you when people ask you to do things that you really don't want to do, that's really taking your energy? And the better we learn to do that, then it's like learning how to guard the energy that we've got so that you can use it in ways that are actually going to benefit you rather than having them drained by other people. So the third point that I had is to look at your environment and try and make really small adjustments to your environment. Again, the point here is to give yourself a little bit more energy. So if noise is a problem, if someone in the cubicle opposite you or across the street or something is chewing loudly or something and it's really annoying and it's taking your energy and taking your attention, maybe something like earplugs, I'm just using a really small example, might help get that energy back so that you're not using as much of your resources in that moment. Because again, the whole point here is to try and keep as many of your resources as possible so that when things that you really can't control come by, you've got something spare to actually handle that. So the good thing here is that when you start fixing little things in your environment, start finding better ways to modify your environment so that it suits you, then that's going to continue on compounding day by day. So if I've got a little bit more energy today, then with that extra resources tomorrow, I can fix something else or manage that better in my environment tomorrow, and then I'll have even more resources the next day and even more the next day. So making really, really small changes. Again, my example was earplugs. Another example could be finding a comfortable seat to sit in, or it really depends on your workplace. For me, for example, something that makes a huge difference to me in my day is I have a power nap every day. This was really difficult when I worked in an office, but sometimes I would actually go out to my car and have a power nap and come back. There's a TED talk I love that says power naps make you kinder, which might sound a bit funny at the start, but the point is that you need to do whatever you need to do to give yourself back the resources to allow yourself to manage whatever life throws at you. So The fourth point I have is that stress is inevitable. Some level of stress is inevitable, just like some level of anxiety is inevitable in a lot of situations. But what we can control is we don't need to stress about the fact that we're stressed. We don't need to stress that, "Oh, I've got so much stress and I can't make it down, and I've tried this and I've tried that, I'm trying all these other things and it's not working." Big deep breath. It's okay. It's okay to be stressed. It's completely okay to be anxious even under some situations. There's a base level of stress, a base level of anxiety, and we don't need to be anxious about the fact that we can't make our anxiety go down. That just makes everything worse. Same thing with stress. If I'm really stressed that I can't make my stress level go down, that doesn't help anybody. There are so many things that I can't control. Like, I don't know if you can hear the construction works outside in the street outside, but I can't control that, and I'm not about to go and do another take of this video because I've been sick this week and there's so many things that I can't control, but including completely losing my train of thought, which is bad luck. What was I saying? I was saying something about stress and adding to stress by trying to take it away or something. Right, so the most important thing is that you have more resources than you need. So I have this much to give and this is how much the world is requiring of me at the moment. So it's very difficult to control the world and make the whole world easier for me to live in. It's worth trying, but it's very difficult to do that. I have less control over the world than I do over myself. So my biggest tip here is that managing your own emotions, managing your own energy level makes everything in life easier, because I have the resources now to deal with what's coming up, and all of a sudden the same level of issue, the same level of stress is not overwhelming and it's not a problem anymore. So I might leave it there. Moral of the story is managing your own emotions makes everything in life easier because you've got the resources to manage it, so it's not a problem anymore. Thanks to everyone who voted for this topic in the Patreon poll, and I will see you again soon. Thanks, bye.